Uh, Hello, friends. Today we will talk about a very important topic of human physiology, that is respiratory physiology. Uh, in this video, we try to know how the respiratory system works, uh, which is the part which controls our respiratory rate, our respiratory system. So, let's talk about respiratory system. uh, we know that respiratory system is under the control of CNS, and in CNS the part which is control the respiratory system, this is medulla oblongata. So see here, this is our central nervous system, and this is pons, and this is medulla oblongata, and this is cerebellum, and this is spinal cord. Uh, in pons, he, uh, see here is our lung. uh, this is our lung. These are alveoli, and this is pleural membrane, visceral pleura, and parietal pleura. And here is ribs and intercostal muscles, and here is diaphragm. So let's talk about respiratory control, which is by our central nervous system. So in central nervous system, here is a uh, ganglion present in the dorsal side of the medulla oblongata, and this is the pacemaker. This is pacemaker of our respiratory system. It means it is the main pacemaker it is the main thing which control the our respiratory system. uh, so let's talk about how it's control the pacemaker. From its pacemaker, nerves are uh, arising, and it go from the C3, C4, and C5. Spinal nerves are arising C3, C4, and C5. These three nerves are combined and form phrenic nerve, and phrenic nerve goes to the diaphragm. And uh, here the intercostal nerves are also arising, and these intercostal nerves are goes to the intercostal muscles. It means muscles present between the ribs. uh, so when uh, breathing, yeah, or respiration process is start, it means inspiration will start. This is under control of the pacemaker. Here one thing also know that inspiration is a active process, while expiration is a passive process. So this pacemaker show only the inspiration. When stimulate generate here, then it stimuli go to the spinal cord, and from spinal cords it go to the phrenic nerve and goes to the diaphragm. And when stimulus come to the diaphragm become contract, and here a space formed and inspiration occur. In normal case, the intercostal muscles not more active or more cooperating for inspiration. Only diaphragm muscles is enough for inspiration. uh, and this is inspiration process. And in the upper part of the pons, here structure or ganglion present, which is known as pneumos pneumotaxic center, pneumotaxis center. Uh, it is a group of ganglion present in the upper part of the pons. It inhibit the our pacemaker of respiratory system. When it inhibit, the stimuli generated by the pacemaker will stop, and stimuli generated by pacemaker is in REM form. It means stimuli, it is in REM form. See here, it is not simultaneously a great generate like pacemaker of heart. It generates sudden electronic changes. Here not sudden, slowly it change and generate stimuli. So it is RAM process. It means in beginning there is very low stimuli, and as time passes stimuli will great, and it goes for about 2 seconds. In 2 seconds all the diaphragm muscles is fully contract, and inspiration process occur. After 2 second, uh, it inhibit by the pneumotoxic center present in upper part of the pons, and no any stimuli generate from this pacemaker. So the diaphragm muscles go to the relaxation. There is no any ATP use or no any centers in use. And about 3 seconds there is no any action potential generate from our pacemaker, and this is the time in which we form the expiration process. And here one thing also known, that in the lower part of the pons, center is present known as amniotic center. Amniotic center is here present. It stimulate the pacemaker for again generate stimuli for inspiration. So after 3 second, amniotic center generate stimuli to the pacemaker, and pacemaker then generate the stimuli for the contraction of the diaphragm muscles as well as intercostal muscles. So this process is going on. It is in normal conditions, when we only use the tidal volume, not forcefully expiration or inspiration. It is normal condition. And uh, if we talk about the alteration of the our respiratory rate, so one thing is notable, that it is in control of central nervous system, but voluntary we change our respiratory rate. It means for few seconds we can control our breathing, and this is in our control. When as well as when emotional center is as well as any emotional breathing, it alter the our breathing rate. So here one thing also notable, that emotional center happens in uh, emotional center which alter our breathing rate is controlled by the limbic system and hypothalamus. and voluntary alter the breathing rate is controlled by the cortex and hypothalamus. And when we alter the our breathing rate, so here the stimuli generate and go to the bypass from the pacemaker and direct go to the phrenic nerve and intercostal nerves. Uh, and We talk about the how this CNS can control the breathing rate, or in exercise the breathing rate will alter, and more breathing rate, expiratory and inspiratory rate will change. So talk about how this process will occur. Uh, so Here is in a ventral part of the medulla oblongata, ganglions are present here in ventral part of the medulla oblongata. Ganglions are present, and when we begin exercise or we perform exercise, then here is also a group of ganglion which helps to the pacemaker for generating more and more stimuli, and breathing rate will increase, and breathing rate will alter. And The breathing rate is directly controlled by the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Uh, Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is the gas which control the breathing rate of our respiratory system. Uh, it means carbon dioxide is a gas which control the pacemaker for generating stimuli. So let's talk how carbon dioxide can control. So in our heart, in our respiratory system, there are two types of chemoreceptors are present. Uh, First one is here's first one is chemoreceptors. Chemoreceptors. First one is uh, central chemoreceptors, and second one is peripheral chemoreceptors. So central chemoreceptors are group of ganglion which are present the origin point near the origin point of the 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve, and about 1 to 2 millimeter when anterior from the ventral side of the medulla oblongata. And it stimulates our pacemaker for generate stimuli. So let's talk about how it will perform. We should know that carbon dioxide, when it goes to blood, then it's form it react with water and form carbonic acid H2CO3, and then carbonic acid further react and form proton plus bicarbonate. Bicarbonate means HCO3 minus. Uh, so in the blood circulation, in arterial flow, uh, these are flow, and from here blood brain barrier is present. Brain barrier don't allow to the H plus for go to the our central nervous system, because brain barrier is not allowed any charged molecule to pass from it. So this proton should not pass the blood brain barrier. So the carbon dioxide actually here happen, this chemoreceptors are sensitive to the uh, proton, not sensitive to the carbon dioxide. But here a problem that should generate, it should uh, not go from the blood brain barrier, because it is a polar molecule. So in blood brain barrier, carbon dioxide easily pass the blood brain barrier because the CO2 is not polar molecule. So when it cross the blood brain barrier, here this reaction is also occur, and proton is here present in the central nervous system, and the concentration of the proton stimulate the uh, chemoreceptors, and chemoreceptors stimulate the pacemaker for alter the respiratory rate or other things. And this is the central chemoreceptor. And we talk about the peripheral chemoreceptors. So peripheral chemoreceptors are present in the aorta. See here, it is brachiocephalic trunk, and it is right subclavian artery. It is a common carotid artery, right, and it is left common carotid artery, and it is left subclavian vein. And then this further divided into external and internal common carotid artery. Here sinus is present, and here one thing is also present, uh, known as carotid bodies. Carotid bodies. Uh, so and the arch of aorta, here two structure, ganglionic structure are present, known as aortic bodies. Aortic bodies. Actually, peripheral chemoreceptors are mainly carotid bodies, but uh, sometimes also aortic bodies are uh, peripheral chemoreceptors. So, in blood, the carotid bodies are under the control of the ninth cranial nerve, glossopharyngeal. The here the sensory neurons are present, and it goes to the uh, uh, pacemaker pacemaker of respiration. And when the carbon dioxide concentration is decrease, then here stimuli generate, and which pressure of carbon dioxide it will activate. They will not when partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 61 to 100, PO2 is 61 to 100, then here is no any stimuli generated, because in this range the hemoglobin saturation, oxyhemoglobin saturation is very good, about 85%. So 61 to 100 there is no any stimuli generated. When it's fall from 60 or low, then here stimuli generate, and stimuli go to the central nervous system, and pacemaker uh, generate stimuli, and diaphragm muscles contract, and breathing rate alter, and more inspiration and expiration occurs. Uh, so the main function of the carotid bodies are when partial pressure of oxygen become 60 or low to the 60. Okay, so this is the whole uh, respiratory control, which is under control the central nervous system. So here is amniotic center. uh, Amniotic center is stimulate the pacemaker, and pneumotoxic center it inhibit the pacemaker. Okay, thank you.